Recently, the San Francisco Chronicle reported that experts are now saying that this is one of the largest, I'll say, exodus of illegal aliens in modern history. Approximately 10% of Mexico's population is now living in the United States. 10% of Mexico's living here, pretty much illegally.
Did you see all the Mexicans that were in
Yeah. Okay, so not including the many illegal aliens from Central America. We're not even counting those. See, what they do, what President Vicente Fox said, is all these illegal aliens that are migrating from Ecuador and Colombia and all these other places, he just lets them come through Mexico. He says, I'll let you come through Mexico, but you're not staying in Mexico. You're going up north and sending your money back. Because that's what they're doing. Okay? Which is another way, well, I'm going to talk about that right now, actually. So now, 15% of Mexico's entire labor force now work in the United States. 50% of their entire labor force. One of every 7 Mexican workers migrates to the United States. It has been said that illegal aliens from Mexico have been a boost to the U.S. economy, but the opposite is true. It's a lie straight from the pit of hell. You will notice that illegal workers in droves at the post offices buying money orders and sending vast amounts of money out of the country. That's what they're doing. They're sending it back. A vast river of what they call migra dollars, migrating means the American dollars are migrating out of the country, are flowing from the United States into Mexico. According to Arturo Valenzuela, director of the Center for Latin American Studies at Georgetown University, the money Mexican migrants send home almost equals the U.S. foreign aid budget for the entire world. That's how much money is going back there. In fact, it is a fact that illegal entry into this country has traditionally been a serious crime. The White House and Bush administration has now equated that offense with receiving a speeding ticket, coming into this country illegally. Try that in another country. Try to go to another country illegally and see what happens to you. They ain't going to treat it as a speeding ticket. White House Press Secretary Tony Snow said, quote, if you had a traffic ticket and you paid it, you're not forever a speeder, are you? Tony Snow, an Illuminist, meaning a member of the Illuminati and the Council of Foreign Relations member, is equating a felony to a traffic violation. In other words, he's equating the felony of being an illegal alien with a traffic ticket. And once you pay the traffic ticket, it's done. Well, that's how they're viewing illegal aliens. Well, you come in, we'll slap you on the wrist, a little fake slap on the wrist, and now your debt's paid, you can stay, you can have all your babies, and you can go on welfare, and you can receive all the benefits of Social Security and welfare and all these other things. Just have more babies. We couldn't possibly get rid of them, though, because who would pick our tomatoes? Oh, that would be a fate worse than death. If we didn't have anybody to pick our tomatoes, we just shut down. That's the impression they're sending. It's pathetic. So, furthermore, on the 18th day of May, 2006, the United States Senate voted to allow illegal aliens to collect Social Security benefits based on past illegal employment. They're illegal, they've been employed illegally, but they're going to let them collect Social Security. Even if the job was obtained through forged or stolen documents, and that's the only way they can get a job. But they're going to give them Social Security too. The vote was 50-49. Senator Jim DeMint, a South Carolina Republican, said, quote, it makes no sense to reward millions of illegal immigrants for criminal behavior while our Social Security system is already in crisis. You might as well just say this. Social Security is as good as gone. Good as gone, I'm telling you. It's gone just from the baby boomers who are maturing now from that time because it's tapped out. One of the main reasons that it's going to be tapped out is because we aborted over 40-some million children starting at that time force. What if those 40 million were in the workforce right now? Would we need all these illegal aliens to do all these other things? No, we wouldn't. Would the blood of the innocents cry out from the land? No, it wouldn't. Would America be a totally different place as a result of that? Yes, I believe it would, because all that innocent blood's not crying out from the land. Now, does that mean that the Bible's not going to happen? Grant, I'm posing the scenario. Did it happen? No. But had it happened, yes, things would be different, okay? But it didn't. So, because you've got all these other people that would normally be paying into Social Security, and I don't agree with Social Security anyway. There's a lot of satanic things about Social Security that we could get into as a totally separate talk. But had we had this extra 40, 45 million paying into Social Security right now, the baby boomers could retire, and there would still be money left in that. But the way it stands right now, it's bankrupt and bust. Now they're going to try to accelerate Social Security going bankrupt and bust by giving these benefits to the illegal aliens. So it's like the old expression, stick a fork in and it's done. It's done. And this is reference, what I just read you. We know that this is part of the Illuminati blueprint to force the economic merger of the United States and Mexico. This is another major step toward a one-world government. It happened in Europe with the euro. So watch for a new currency called the Amero. That's where it's going to. We're going to have a new currency called the Amero. It's going to be Mexican, Canadian, and United States currency all in one. The economists are already working on it, but our economy must first absorb the weak Mexican peso. See, that's what we're doing right now. We're absorbing all of the weak corruption from Mexico into our society through the illegal aliens. Pretty soon, they're just going to say, we're going to throw down the borders, and we're just going to have one big state from Canada to Mexico, and we're going to have to absorb all the weak corruption from Mexico, which is going to even further weaken our country. But that's what they want. They're trying to kill the middle class in this country. So that's why I'm encouraging people now, if they've got any method or means, get out of all debt you can, liquidate whatever you have got, put it in gold and silver, and do whatever you got to do. But at least if it's in gold and silver, it's going to be safe. And don't do it in such a way where the gold and silver is going to be tracked. Okay? Don't go up online and purchase gold and silver, where they could come back and say you did this. So anyway, we are now beginning to understand another reason why all this is happening. Why our government has intentionally allowed so many millions of illegal aliens to come into this country. On May 25th, 2006, New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg called for a plan that would establish a DNA database to track and verify all legal U.S. workers. A DNA database. Wonder what that could be. Well, let's look at this. On June 1st, 2006, Scott Silverman, CEO of the VeriChip Corporation, announced that he is working with the Bush administration to implant radio frequency identifier, or RFID, tracking chips in the flesh of all illegal aliens who will be given guest work status. Now, this is like the mark of the beast. I'm not saying it is the mark of the beast, but it's essentially the forerunner to the mark of the beast. They're going to be implanting all these illegal aliens. Now, they let them all in. They let them all in. Oh, well, we can't guard our borders. We're just too inept. Oh, but we can have standing armies in other countries, like Iran and Iraq, okay, because we're trying to get their oil and control those situations. But we don't have enough people to... we can't keep the bad illegal aliens out. No, we can't deal with that. So they created the problem. They let all these people in. Now they're going to be implanting them with these trackable microchips. That's going to be how they're conditioning us to accept the mark. One of the ways. One of the various ways. VeriChip is also reportedly working with the Pentagon to implant chips in all military personnel. So now the military people are going to get chipped. Well, the Bible said it was going to happen. And you figure it's not just going to happen one of these days where all of a sudden Satan's going to come and say, okay, everybody's got to take a mark on the right hand or forehead to buy or sell. No, there's going to be a progression of events that leads up to that. Because if he just did it all at once, people would reject it. But if it's incremental, people will accept it. One strange twist of the events that occurred here in Wisconsin on May 31st, Governor Jim Doyle signed a legislation that will make it illegal in the state of Wisconsin to force anyone to be implanted with a microchip. Wisconsin is the only state in the union where it is now illegal. So in other words, every other state of the union, it's legal to be implanted with microchips. I suspect that Governor Doyle did this because of his number one political enemy is former Wisconsin Governor Tommy Thompson, who is also President Bush's Health and Human Services Secretary